All right. So, I am not going to wait. I'm sorry, guys. I got this book. So, this is going to introduce the book even more. And I'm actually going to make videos out of all of this. So, you guys are going to have never ending videos on this channel, especially because of the fact that when we get on the property and I start doing stuff, everything we do on that property is going to be videoed and put on the channel. So, you guys are also going to have all those videos, all the informational videos. You're never going to run out of information. And you guys also have the Off Grid with Doug and Stacy channel to look through and watch. And they have so many videos you probably never get through them all. So, and our channel is going to be just pretty much the same. So, all right. So the book, The Backyard Homestead, pretty freaking awesome. Produce all the food you need on just 1/4 of an acre. 1/4 of an acre. If you think of it in terms of an inch, that's 1/4 of an inch. You know, 1/4 of an acre. You know, that little, people don't even think, you know, like, you can produce that much on that. Yeah, you can. Right. Eat from the garden year round with fresh veggies and homemade preserves. Make omelets from eggs laid by your own chickens. Pick fruits and berries from your back door. There's nothing better than fresh picked fruit from your own fruit bushes and trees. Just absolutely nothing better. And nothing healthier. You're not going to get any healthier than that. Just no matter what you do. So, alright. I already read this in the other video, but from 1/4 of an acre, you can harvest 1,400 eggs, 50 pounds of wheat, 60 pounds of fruit, 2,000 pounds of vegetables, 280 pounds of pork, and 75 pounds of nuts. Put your backyard to work. Enjoy fresher, organic, better tasting food all the time. The solution is as close as your own backyard. Grow the vegetables and fruits your family loves. Keep bees, raise chickens, goats, or even a cow. The Backyard Homestead shows you how it's done. And when the harvest is in, you'll learn how to cook, preserve, cure, brew, or pickle the fruits of your labor. And this book is, who was it written by? Okay, it says it was edited by Carleen Madigan. I don't know if that's who wrote it or not. It's by Story Publishing. Art direction and book design by Dan O. Williams. It says the mission of Story Publishing is to serve our customers by publishing practical information that encourages personal independence and harmony with the environment. So if I was to change this life I lead, I'd be Johnny Tomato Seed, because I know what this country needs: homegrown tomatoes in every yard you see. Guy Clark. Okay, it was put out in 2009 by Story Publishing. Okay, anyway, so to get into the book, it says that it's indispensable guide to food self-sufficiency. Learn how to milk a goat, prune a fruit tree, dry herbs, make dandelion wine, bake whole grain bread, and tap a maple tree, make fresh mozzarella, brew beer, mill grains for flour, save seeds for next season, and a whole lot more. And then it says Carleen Madigan is an acquisitions editor for Story Publishing. She lives on 30 acres in the northern Adirondack Mountains of New York State, where she and her husband grow vegetables, herbs, and fruit and raise chickens, cattle, and pigs. So she's more than qualified to have edited this book. So, and here we go. And I know I showed this before, but this gives you one idea of a layout for a garden design. Okay. So here we go. And I'm going to do a video and make each section a different video. So here we go, guys. The backyard homestead 10 years later. Okay, never mind. I'm not going to do that. We're just going to get right into it here, and this is starting on page 10, and just going to go from there. Start your own backyard homestead, and you don't need much money to do that either. You really don't. I've already put out another video on how to start a homestead when you're flat broke. If you don't have a lot of money, look that video up. Watch it. It's off from Pinterest. I took it off from one of my pins. And I just read the information out of it. But it gives you a lot of good information on how to start a homestead when you don't have any money. And there's a lot of people in that position, so.
Yeah, I got this bite on my hand, and since, you're a biting expert, I thought you could do it. Yeah, come on over here,
Having issues because I've been kind of scrunched. Alright. Start your own backyard homestead. Sorry, guys, I'm gonna have to sit back. Whether you're starting off with an acre or two, or just an apartment with a small patio, there's something you can do to provide some of your own food. Remember, we covered this in when I was reading off the different parts of that PDF file I had. Who knows, for instance, that an ordinary front yard, who knew, for instance, that an ordinary front yard can be planted to wheat, which you can harvest and grind for flour, or that you can grow as many as 15 pounds of tomatoes from just one self-watering container on the back patio. Or that you can keep as many as a dozen chickens on a quarter-acre lot and still have space for vegetables, fruit trees, herbs, and even pigs. How exciting is that? And before you pile the kids into an old minivan and head out in search of dairy goats and hazelnut trees, take some time to consider the logistics of what you're about to embark on. Okay. Now, when it was talking about chickens, a dozen chickens. Okay. When our chickens started laying eggs, I don't remember how many we were getting. They were laying. Okay, well, you stop and think. If you have a dozen chickens, if each one of them lays one a day, which is possible, then that means you're getting a dozen eggs a day. That's 12. Times 12 by 7. That's 84 eggs in a week. Okay? That's... Oh, yeah. 7 dozen. I'm stupid. Sorry. So that's 7 dozen eggs a week. So that's 28 dozen eggs in a month. Unless you have a really big family, you're not going to go through that many eggs. Now, you can go through and you can put them up. You can do a process called water glassing, which I'll do some pins and I'll cover that at some point in time. You can also find videos on YouTube that cover that. You can sell eggs. There's things that you can do. You don't have to let the eggs stockpile in. Plus, you can also figure out how many eggs you're gonna need. And you can let your chickens hatch. So you can let your chickens sit on some of those eggs, and then sell chicks, $5 a piece. And think about it: if you end up with 3 dozen chicks, and you sell them all, that's 36 times 5. That's, that's quite a bit of money to put back into your homestead. And that, that's what I suggest is to put that money back into your homestead. 36 times 5, that's 0.
Children.
And then 5 times 3 is 15 plus 3.
1 second, honey. It buried me in the sand.
Oh, sorry. My brain is, yeah. That's 18. So 180. Is that right?
Amazing.
36 times 5.
It's in a bottle. Jeez. Isn't that awesome, honey?
Yeah. So, duh. So that's $180. I mean, that's not bad. $180 if you sold all those chicks for $5 a piece. That's $180 back into your homestead. You could put that back into your chickens.
Definitely making another run.
No way. He's
Or, whatever. So, just some ideas out there. All right, step into the yard. Sorry, I had to sit back, you guys. Kind of scrunched, and I'm kind of hurting right through there because I'm scrunching down too much, and it hurts. The first step is simply to step outside. Take a look around and evaluate your landscape. How much space do you have to work with? We have 12.53 acres. It's our property. Does your yard get enough sun to support a garden? Most definitely. I showed you guys. Go back, if you guys are new to the channel, go back and look up the video on our channel called We Finally Made It. It's the video I made the day we went to our property. And 12.53 acres. I don't even cover a quarter of that, okay? The clearing that we found and the area that we were walking through before we found that clearing, all of that is perfect for our farm and homestead. And that doesn't even cover an eighth of that property. So most vegetables and fruits need 6 to 8 hours a day in order to thrive, and they'll definitely get that on our property. How much rain does your region normally receive, and at what times during the year? Will you need to irrigate frequently? Do you live in a place that freezes solid during the winter, or will you be able to grow a few hardy greens through the colder months? We're going to have a greenhouse, and I'm probably going to go ahead and build some cold frames. And yes, we do freeze during the winter. Though right now it is fairly warm and rather squishy outside, but it's still January, so. If you're thinking about keeping animals, there's a lot to mull over, but you can start with a space they'll require. Chickens and rabbits can be kept in fairly small quarters. Pigs need a surprisingly small amount of space, too. You really shouldn't think about keeping larger animals like goats, sheep, and cows, though, unless you got at least a quarter acre to devote to pasture. Goats don't really need a lot of space. They really don't.
Was that you?
We'll get into that later, because I'm planning on, doing a whole lot of videos, on the animals. The specific animals, farm animals, there's going to be a ton of videos on them, so. And especially once we get those animals. Consider your preferences. What kinds of food do you eat the most? Zucchini is one of the easiest and most productive vegetable garden plants you can grow. But if you don't really like zucchini, there's no sense in planting it. One thing that you can make from zucchini, two things actually you can make from zucchini that's really, 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 really good. All right. Zucchini bread. Absolute favorite. You can make it with gluten-free flour. You can make it with unbleached flour, and you can make it with whole wheat flour. And I'm sure you can make it with flour, from grains that you've grown and ground up yourself. So. And the second thing is zucchini jelly. When I get that recipe back, I will put it on here. I promise. Sorry.
So sad. Who raised you?
great grandfather. I basically grew up on this ship.
That's why you're a cat.
Yeah. Well, never known. It was just
Mhm.
expected. That's
Sorry.
I understand.
My sinuses were
Everybody
bugging me.
is every to honor the past. But we make our own
Okay.
future.
Zucchini jelly is made with ground up zucchini and, well, they call for Jello for the fruit flavoring, but I'm sure you can use fruit juice from freshly grown fruits.
Discussing the
And
you know, work stuff.
now the Jello would helps it to set into jelly.
family
It's
stuff.
not real healthy.
You should really go.
I wouldn't recommend sugar-free Jello because it has aspartame in it. So we'll kind of figure that one out along the way, but all right. A good plan is to make a list of the foods you and your family eat on a daily basis and start with that. You can always add a few fun things too, but better to have your plot stuffed with carrots and tomatoes you know you're going to eat than with ground cherries and exotic peppers that you've never tried before. Well, now with us, I'm planning on, doing
Yes.
quite a bit of different things. Sorry, I got a text now, phone call.
Garlic?
Sorry.
Oh, that's a cute tune, honey. All day too.
It's getting wild.
Okay, sorry, I was answering my sister back. Okay. But I am going to try ground cherries, and I've tried tomatillos, and those are actually really good. They're good on salads, they really are. But I want to try growing them. So, alright, another preference to consider is how much work you really want to do. Although the idea of making your own cheese from fresh milk may be wildly appealing to you, the thought of being tied to milking a cow or goat twice a day, every day for 10 months straight, never mind feeding and watering it twice a day for all 12 months, may not be. Even a vegetable garden can become overwhelming if you try to make it too large. You know what? I don't care. Because we're going to come to a time when if we don't do this, if we can't do this, people are going to starve. Literally. So, and it's coming. It is coming. It's to start simple and start small. Yeah, I'm going to recommend that, okay? If you've never gardened before, then yeah, start simple and start small. Try a square foot garden. They are wonderful. Square foot gardening is absolutely wonderful. Go back through the videos on our channel and look up the video Garden Tour for 2020. And the lush garden that you see in that video that is so chock full of everything was my square foot garden. It was amazing. We got so much out of that garden. So much. So definitely try a square foot gardening, especially in raised garden beds, because you don't have to get down on the ground and a lot less weeding and yada yada yada. So, all right, follow the law and make nice with the neighbors. Before you begin, be sure to check in with the folks at the town hall to make sure you won't be violating any local ordinances. For instance, each town has its own regulations about what kinds of animals you can keep in your backyard. More of that on page 349. Some neighborhoods and planned communities have bylaws to keep up appearances and might not like it if you suddenly decide to plant a wheat field in your front yard. Hopefully your amber waves of Pleasantville grain won't do more than raise an eyebrow among the neighbors. However, if they've gotten only 2 hours of sleep because your rooster has been crowing through the night, that may be a tad on the twitchy side and less than sympathetic to the goals of your mini farm. It may be worth a quick meeting with a butters if you're hoping to keep animals that will be crowing, bleating, mooing, and emitting odors not normally found in a suburban neighborhood. Even something as simple as the considerate placement of a compost pile, example, not over the fence from Mr. Wilson's barbecue, will be appreciated. And then preserve your harvest. Reading through the Backyard Homestead, you'll see that each chapter includes not only information on growing plants and raising animals, but also tips on how to use and preserve the food you produce. After all, in most areas of the country, there are only so many growing months in a year. Preserving food, which includes canning, freezing, drying, and root cellaring, makes it possible for you to eat from your own backyard year-round. And even if you don't currently have a garden or animals, you can try out many of the techniques in this book using vegetables, fruit, meat, and milk from local farms. What to grow meal by meal. One way to start figuring out what to grow is to think about what you actually eat. Try tracking what you eat during an average day and break each meal into its components. You might be surprised at how much of it you can grow yourself. For example, if your family eats a lot of pasta sauce, you'll want to start with your vegetable garden with plenty of tomatoes, onions, peppers, and garlic. And garlic is one of the best things to grow, and I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna buy more garlic. I'm probably gonna go ahead and get some garlic bulbs. But I'm definitely going to plan on growing a bunch of garlic. Because I want to be able to do a whole quart jar of the garlic and honey for over the winter, because I've got my husband he's been sick once a month for the last 3 months. He's still fighting cold. And if I can if I can have the fresh garlic and the raw honey and make this and have him just start taking this, probably on a daily basis. So I'm probably going to need enough to make 2 quarts of it, if not more. And the elderberry syrup, and just have him start taking it regularly. Just kickstart his immune system to where he's not getting sick. To where he can start getting healthy and feeling better and not have to worry about being sick. I want to be able to have those things around, so. Your herb garden should have oregano, thyme, rosemary, and perhaps a bay tree, which can be brought indoors for the winter, and I'm definitely going to have one of those, if not more than one. When harvest time rolls around, you can make a few batches of sauce and can it for the winter. Okay, so I'm going to stop there for that first video on this, and I'm going to go ahead and get the title on this one. I'm going to have Chloe get the intros on these videos, and I will get these videos uploaded today, promise. I do work tomorrow. I think it's 3 to 11 or something tomorrow. So. Yep, 3 to 11 tomorrow. Yay. Not really. Wait, that's Monday. I'll have to recheck the schedule. I think it is 3 to 11 tomorrow anyway. Or it might be 2 to 10. I don't even know. I really don't. I have no clue right now. I don't know. Anyway. But I'm going to go ahead and get off from here, and I will get the title on this, and I'll get have Chloe get the intros on these tonight, and I will get them uploaded, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.